on December 22nd, we will have Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Adon and I are going to go back to review 2018's Aquaman, starring Jason Momoa. Currently still ranked on Rotten Tomatoes, 65% by the critics, 72% by the audience. Permission to come aboard. Welcome back to Tales of Two Bros. My name is Angel,
I'm Adon.
where we give you a review at least once a week. Spoiler alert, Aquaman came out in 2018. It has very much similarities to Ant-Man.
All right, wait. Are
When
you
they
saying
meet-
Ant-Man like in the Wasp or the first Ant-Man?
Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Explain why, and then we'll clarify,
Before that, let's go over the credits.
shall we?
Starring, of course, as Jason Momoa as the lead as Aquaman, but we have here as director James Wan making his transition from horror films into the superhero genre. The Conjuring 2, Furious 7, The Conjuring 1, Insidious, Death Sentence, Dead Silence, Saw.
Arguably, Fast and Furious is technically a superhero genre now. When you look at it, they're doing superhuman stuff, let's be honest.
We have 6 writers. We have David Leslie Johnson McGoldrick, Will Beal, Jeff Johns. Yeah, that makes sense. James Wan also got into it. Paul Norris as the creator of Aquaman. Mort Wessinger as also the other creator of Aquaman. Starring, as I mentioned before, Jason Momoa as Arthur Aquaman, Amber Heard, Mira, a.k.a. the Shitbetter, William Dafoe as Volko, Patrick Wilson as King Om, Nicole Kidman as Atlanta, Dolph Lundgren as King Nurius. Okay, this one's going to be hard for me because that's a beautiful name, but I'm going to have trouble saying it. Yahya Abdul Mateen II, Tamura Morrison, Michael Beach as Black Manta's father, Randall Park, the guy who's also in Ant-Man, and he's here. Graham McTavish was King Atlan. That's the main ones. I just recently saw, just to recap, this movie is a popcorn film. I was entertained, but I wasn't blown away. It is visually beautiful, being that it was how they did the special effects for the underwater scenes. What about you? What do you think about it when you resaw it?
I mean, that's a fair assessment. And it's not, reinvited. Let's put it this way. When it came out, it didn't save the DCEU, as it were.
It made bank, though.
It did make bank.
It went over $1 billion. Went over $1 billion.
Well, let me get this out there. So, and they didn't save the DCEU, but it did do its job. It was an entertaining film. It's a popcorn film, just like you said. You don't put too much thought into it. There are some things that could easily get caught, and you'd be like, "Huh," but then you just let it go, and you enjoy your time.
The reason why it really made $1 billion is because of Jason Momoa. Let's be honest. His star power, his charisma, his scene presence is as top as it can be. I think better more than The Rock's in that star power, that charisma. Because the thing is, he does have diversity. The thing you see now in The Rock's performance is pretty much The Rock playing The Rock in different clothing.
Yeah, he's Momoa pretty much character type now.
Right. And Jason Momoa, he allows himself to change. Granted, here, it was pretty much his own clothing that he had, except for the Aquaman uniform, costume.
If he's not careful, he's going to get typecasted like that.
Well, he would have been typecast a long time. I mean, here's the thing.
I mean, he was in some roles, but as this type of character role now.
But he started with Game of Thrones, and they had a callback to that too. If you noticed it,
actually, he did stuff before Game of Thrones, but
no, I know he did a lot of things. He did a movie with a Bullet to the Head with Sylvester Stallone. He was a hitman, and other things too.
And he was Conan.
But he was Conan, exactly. But that came from Game of Thrones. It was pretty much that was like typecasting.
Yeah.
Because after he was done with Game of Thrones, they put him to that, which is pretty much the same period piece, if you will. But did you notice the callback to Game of Thrones in there?
I think it was referenced. I just can't remember where.
Where Mira has him on the boat. She stole the boat after the big scene with Black Manta, and he got burnt.
Oh, and didn't he call her Khaleesi or something like that, or something I don't know. No, he didn't call her that.
No, did you watch the movie again?
I did. I just don't remember everything to the letter.
Well, what it was is that he had his hair pulled back in a bun, kind of thing, like his
Yeah.
character from Clone Wars, and then he had like seaweed wrapped around his forearms and belly, just like the same kind of wrapping he had as his character in Game of Thrones. You know,
Oh,
the seaweed was there and it was wrapped around with like plastic or leather or something like that to help the healing because he got burned from the
I thought there was like
mantis
a
rays.
vocal like reference though.
Oh, that I don't know. That I wasn't listening. I mean, granted, I wasn't. I was hearing there, like I said, it's a popcorn movie, but it wasn't a movie like you. Like, I gotta watch every detail of it. It was kind of like what you do, which I don't know how you do it. I guess you get it from mom that you just walk around, do stuff while the TV's playing and stuff like that. So I was kind of do that too.
Depends on the film. Some of the films like you can do that because it doesn't demand your attention that hard, and then some of the films do call your attention, and you have to like really like. There's been times where I put films on in the background, and I'm like, oh no, 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 I gotta really watch this.
True, but was this one of them?
No, no, this is definitely a
Okay.
film that you can put in the background.
So like I said, it was visually beautiful. I like the colors. It was very vibrant. It was very distinct on certain aspects. Black Manta's costume was on point.
Yeah.
That was like one of the favorite things about the here that how they got his costume truly accurate. Yes, you have Aquaman's costume, but that was very simple in that way. Orange top, green bottoms, green gloves. The trident cracks me up. From especially I saw on a YouTube thing like a Batman fires Aquaman.
But that was
And
more recent. Batman fires
no,
Aquaman.
I know. Oh, I know. But they point to the fact that the trident means three,
Yeah,
and but his has like five. Yeah, because of the with the mothers.
yeah.
So I just find when I see that now, it's like, yeah, that's not a trident. Yeah, he's right. It's not a trident.
That was Pete Holmes playing that Batman role.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's been doing that for a while though. That character, that incarnation. Do you have a favorite moment or scene?
I enjoyed the scene when he's communicating with the giant sea creature. The way that they do his telekinetic
Mhm.
telepathy with the fishes and the sea
Say that
life.
again.
Telepathy.
Okay, you said it differently earlier. Okay,
Telepathy?
either
um,
or. It just sounded
the way he communicates with the fish is, I think, is good. I liked it.
was very reminiscent to the cartoon, like Super Friends and all that stuff. And they used to do like that, where they have like the rings. They show the rings coming
Yeah.
out. And they did that with the cartoon. So
Mhm.
I like that callback they did.
I liked the fight in the Italian city, the
Yes,
city
with
in
Black
Italy
Manta.
with Black Manta.
Yes.
More the scenes with him. I wasn't a big like Amber Heard had some good scenes moments, but I don't think she really brought much to the table for that fight.
And it make no sense too, because like that scene where she's fighting the guards, she can control water. She's a bender.
Essentially, I mean, I just chalked it up to maybe she just controls all liquid.
Right. But what I'm saying though, when she's fighting the guards, she could have just easily controlled the water that was inside the suits.
Yeah, yeah, no,
She didn't.
and she
She went
chose to
hand to
control the
hand.
wine.
Yeah, exactly. She had to break the bottles and all that stuff. Like, yeah, it made no sense. Like, why not do it there? Like, it's like a force, a Jedi or a Sith relying on the lightsaber instead of easily using force push
Hmm.
or a force choke. She could have done that. She could have made them, even though they're creatures of the water, she could have made them drown in a way, or that use the water to crush them, or let it escape through the any of the
Or
exits.
turn it into spikes on them big pin cushions. But that's gonna go into the food pause of it. I did like I could have peed on
Right. No, like
it.
he brought some nice comedic timing or comedic flair into it. He felt very it looked like very natural to him.
Yeah.
Very natural. Like I was saying earlier that Zack Snyder casting him as Aquaman for his Justice League was one of the perfect castings ever. When Robert Downey got casted as Iron Man, Tony Stark, I was all for it. It was like a perfect casting.
Mhm.
Here, perfect casting because it makes sense. Like as Aquaman, a man of water, that he is more like a surfer dude, not so clean. He's more, down to earth. I forgot to mention earlier, but he's also the Superman of the sea.
Essentially, yeah. And they try to influence that with some of the scenes that he
They,
did. Like
well, they did with
in the
it with
submarine
his
when they try to shoot him and stab him.
Stab him, cut him, nothing.
Yeah.
Which makes no sense either in the sense of how he defended himself. It's like, if you're impenetrable of any shots, gunshots, or sword or knife, you should not be blocking.
It could be argued he still is not aware of all the things he's capable of doing, and that's why.
Yeah, but he remember when he was walking, he was just getting shot at. He was just walking. So if you're getting shot at, you're just walking and having the bullets bounce off inside the submarine. Why would you start moving your arms and blocking the swords?
I don't know, protect the eyes.
You can go like this.
Staying on what we like.
Okay,
I'm keeping it on subject. I did also like the first fight with King Orm, the Ring of Fire.
Okay, yeah.
The second fight, I had some issues. It
seemed kind of easy for someone who still doesn't understand how to fight underwater, what have you, compared to a guy who's been doing it pretty much all his life. Where Arthur has been in and out of the water and did not want to be or deal or accept that side of him so much.
True.
Yes, he was trained by Vocal, but that was limited.
Mm-hmm.
And talking about the fighting, yes, like a lot of scenes he did you could tell it was very similar to his Conan days. The way he'll hold a sword, the way he'll crouch and get in position. He did the twirl too, in a sense of how Conan used to do it.
I thought that was supposed to be more to like the Maui thing, or
it's a blend of the two, really. But you see it in Conan. You see it in other times he did it, like in Game of Thrones as well. What any other good scenes did you like?
Dolph Lundgren. I liked his not scenes. I loved his performance.
Oh, he was great. I mean, compared to every other project he has done besides Rocky IV and Red Scorpion, and his time on The Flash, the series. No, not The Flash. Green on Arrow, the series. Like for every action or movie he's done with a Russian accent or with another accent, he was great. Whenever he did roles that was just him in the sense of his own natural voice, he's horrible. Expendables, horrible. But here, his own natural voice, he was great. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
He's not forcing it. He's being very natural with it. It was like, great. I was like, this is what we've been waiting for in the sense of this guy who's been in this, the Punisher. Oh my God. Horrible performance as the Punisher.
I remember that film.
What about Faux Pas?
Wait, you didn't say what you liked overall.
Well,
unless it was everything I said.
Not everything, but a lot, yes. In a sense, I did enjoy the scene when Black Manta appeared in Italy. That whole chase and all that stuff. Overall, I just like Black Manta's. I will say Black Panther.
I know.
Black Manta's presence and how he came about. That scene was really good. Other action scenes, I like the one in the sewer, not the sewer. Again, think of turtles here, but in the submarine when we first see him. Granted, I have some problems with it, but it was a great introduction or reintroduction to the character for his solo film. I do enjoy that. Yes. Faux pas.
Okay, so faux pas wise, right off the bat, since we were talking about the Italy fight scene.
Let me guess. The love interest stuff?
I didn't think they had good chemistry between the two of them. That's just my personal opinion. But setting that aside, no, what I was going to say is the dagger that he gave his father gave him for Black Manta. How was that able to stab Aquaman? When none of the other blades that were normal, that weren't Atlantean, able to stab him, the one dagger from like the U.S. Navy was able to puncture him in his shoulder.
It was his grandfather's.
Yes.
How do we not know that was given to him by one of the Atlanteans?
His father said that it was given to him as being a U.S. Navy SEAL or deep sea diver or something like that. He didn't find it; it was gifted to him by the military. Being a frogman,
could that be totally true?
Then
take that thing of a pirate.
Are we going with the Zack Snyder approach of we're going to Easter egg stuff that doesn't make sense until 2 or 3 movies later?
I mean, it could be also to the fact that has not been around in contact of water for a while. He was in the desert.
Yeah, that is a comic book thing. Like if he's not in the water for a while, he does get, in essence, weaker.
Yeah, because like him and Submariner from Marvel, they're very similar. The longer you're away from water, from your natural habitat, the weak you become.
True.
Right. And there has some similarities of Submariner, or Submariner had similarities in his carnation in Wakanda Forever. I saw some similarities there with Aquaman and here, but
Yeah.
of course this came first.
I mean,
So
granted, he
yeah,
was being blown through buildings too, but
who
still.
was Aqua?
Yeah,
Aqua
Aquaman. He
or
was shot through buildings and whatnot.
I'm saying his body was, he probably got tired. His body, his armor was starting to break down from all that. I mean, granted, he jumped out of a plane as she did and landed, however far down and how fast that was, excuse me.
But that wasn't new.
So
He was able to do that in Justice League.
he landed on someone. He was surfing in the air.
That's true, he was.
I thought about that too, but he crash landed into the desert.
Okay. I did not
But
like the trident fighting technique in the second battle with him and Orm. When he starts doing the whole thing where he starts spinning it, and if you watch the hands, it's
no, there's one
bad.
time he's doing like this. He's doing this and it's spinning around his forearm.
Exactly.
I was
Like all of a
wait
sudden
minute.
he's now telekinetic and he can just move it with his mind. Yes,
I know.
The trident has magical powers. Cool.
But he just got it.
He just got it. I mean, granted, every time they do that technique, Volko, I saw it and I was like, it doesn't look natural. It doesn't look like William Dafoe's actually spinning it, and just looked worse when Momoa was spinning it.
Did you know the creature that was guarding the trident? It was voiced by Julie Andrews.
No, I did not know that. It makes sense though.
How does that make sense?
Because her voice sounded familiar. I just didn't recognize it.
Oh, because it was tweaked. It wasn't her, they didn't keep it all like natural. They tweaked it. But yes, Julie Andrews. My faux pas is a couple of things, and it deals with Mira, deals with Amber Heard. There was no need for that Italy, that googly eye moment where he's watching her and he's like getting the feels for her. I thought that was a waste of time. Unnecessary. It was unnecessary. Like you could have cut out like 5-10 minutes of that, or not, not have it all. Just show up, you find the artifact. Hold up, they did come from the ocean into Italy.
They did. The ocean was right out the water. This is the coast.
Right, I forgot. So that makes no sense then about the knife stabbing him.
I was just letting that go.
I stand corrected on that. So I don't know. I can't answer it. I thought it'd be, it will make more sense if he was gifted by an Atlantean, because the thing is, like, they were hired by Orm to sabotage the attack or to create the attack, that fake attack.
Yeah.
So that's what they were there for in the first place, to take that Russian submarine, to use it to start a war with land and sea.
Yeah.
And it failed. Direct faux pas when Arthur rescues his father from that tidal wave. Oh, was it from the tidal wave? No, when he's drunk, excuse me, and he's put him in the car. You see her behind them walking on
land, and then all of a sudden you hear a splash, and she's on the other.
She's on the other side. It's all wet there.
I was thinking that too. I'm like, what was the point of jumping back in the water just to splash up on land on another area? I'm like,
yeah, it's like, but
you could have ran up just as fast.
Exactly right. At first, I didn't like it, but I liked it more every time I see it. Is that when they talk underwater? Because in Justice League, Zack Snyder had in a way that air bubbles will come up.
Yeah,
a big one for they can communicate, and I like that. I was like, oh, that's a great touch of how they communicate. Here, they did it. You're talking, but is distorted a little bit. Like you're talking in a cone, in a way. And you hear that, and that's like, that's pretty cool. I like that. What I didn't like is that not everyone, but the majority has like their hair greased and moosed back. Some had their hair flowing as if they are underwater, like their capes. But there was other people.
Well, like
who
Volko and Orm had it all like in man bun style, like tied behind their heads.
Right, but then you see Orm later. His hair is short. There's no bun.
Yeah, it's like very, very short. All his hair is short, and it's just like really, just like feathery in the back of his head.
But you see a little bit moving on certain scenes. And the one where he's fighting Arthur, Aquaman, you see the hair, but other times he's just slicked back. And then you see the Atlanteans, excuse me, thank you. I don't know why I'm having trouble. Where they're watching the battle, they're all dolled up, makeup, hair all like moosed. I was like, it doesn't make sense that they didn't. The costume department was not on their best here. Also, when we see his mother, Atlanta, fight, and she says, "Get me my spear or my trident, whatever." He throws it to her, the husband, and then she poses. Why are you posing?
That was the other thing. I was like, very unusual, weird fighting style. It looked cool in some
It
aspects,
looked
but
cool.
at the same time, like when she did, like I don't know if she stabbed or someone grabbed a trident and she did like this little flip maneuver
Right.
over, which was unnecessary.
I don't think she
It
had
didn't.
this. I don't think she had the spear there. She did a flip over the couch,
Yeah,
and then she did a flip with. I think she held the guy's rifle, whatever, and then did a flip there. But also, like the father, he puts Arthur in a corner, not to get damaged or hurt, and then you see him holding him after he gives her the spear, the trident. You know, she throws this trident right past him. It's like, but why? Arthur was perfectly fine in the corner. Why'd you pick him up and put him in danger again?
maybe he thought it was all done. He didn't know someone was behind him. Clearly, I didn't understand. I know I do understand. I just didn't like when he saved his father from the truck and Mira's right there. I'm like, first of all, how are you going to find your father and all that? Just like when we were talking about Godzilla -1, that tidal wave
Mhm.
took that truck, and he's like, "I'm going to find my pops," and Mirror magically finds him the entire time. My paranoia is, I'm just saying, like, I don't trust. My paranoia would have been like, how did she know all this? And she showed up right in time to give me the warning, and then all of a sudden this happens and saves my father. I wouldn't trust her.
Mm.
And Arthur was like, "Let's go save my people."
True. Well, here's the thing I didn't like either, and I think it'd be a full plot. Even though I like Black Manta's presence in the sense of his costume
Mm-hmm.
and how comic book accurate it was, I think his backstory is extremely weak.
Agreed. In the comics, is a
Extremely weak.
lot more in depth, and there's a
Mhm.
lot more drive to it.
Well, the thing is, like he just makes it a revenge story. I was like, it,
Mhm.
it's stupid. In a sense, I don't know how it is in the comics in a sense, but the thing is, we see him. He's the bad guy. He's the villain. He starts off as a villain. It's nothing like he was having a bad day and then he turns to evil. He was the villain from the get go. He's a pirate. He and his father were taking over a submarine to cause a war.
Yeah.
And he just killed people. Then his father, who's doing the same fact thing that he did, he gets killed. I'm gonna get you. You killed my father. It's like, motherfucker, you just killed several people of the crew. You've killed probably lots more on your adventures with your dad, but now you're on a revenge kick because your father, who just killed other people and tried to start World War III, you have to get
Essentially,
revenge. It was. I'm sorry. It was just a weak.
revenge is good enough to have a character do anything, but he's not the strongest of villain origins. In the was it Young Justice, also in the comics, like one of the revised versions of the storyline. If memory serves correct, Black Manta was a pirate. He was a criminal of the seas, but he
Mhm.
also stumbled across Atlantis, fell in love with an Atlantean. Because of their relationship, she was exiled, had, why can't I remember his actual name, but Aqualad, essentially, and furthered his career as a criminal.
But it's kind of
So
similar to what they did with
it is
Atlanta.
kind of similar. That's what I'm saying. I'm
They
not
just they
too,
switched it around.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not too harsh on it.
I
I
just find the
did
motivation for
find it
Black Manta
funny
to be weak.
though. I did find it funny. The Tony Stark, I'm gonna
Oh,
make up
when
my
he's doing
armor
it.
while listening to some. They don't show that he's listening to rock and roll or like any kind of music, but
Mhm.
you feel like there's a radio playing in that room.
Right.
And they are
No,
playing music that is like very much Tony Stark-ish.
they had some music which made no sense. I think when they were walking on shore in Italy, it was some Pitbull song. I think
Yeah.
I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this became Fast and Furious.
Mm-hmm.
This made over $1 billion. Jason Momoa has the star power. He had it then. He has it now. If this is a popcorn film, is it worth the watch? Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're a Jason Momoa fan, sure. If you like some, for a popcorn film, yeah. Is it rewatchable? No. This is maybe my third, maybe my fourth time seeing it.
Mm-hmm.
65% with the critics, 72% by the audience on Rotten Tomatoes. I know a lot of people don't go by this, but why not? Sometimes the critics got it right. Sometimes the audience gets it right. I'll be generous. I'll give it 70, which falls a little closer to the audience. I was entertained. Jason Momoa does have that amazing screen presence. Amber Heard didn't need that much screen time.
I
Dolph
mean,
Lundgren was awesome. William Defoe did a great job. Orm, played by Patrick Wilson, was great. Seeing Black Manta and his outfit, also great. Randall Park character, not needed.
I would have actually liked to see more of Graham McTavish, who was King at then.
Yes.
Like
Yes, it was great to
his
see him.
character was just a hologram for most of the time, or like a flashback. But you really only see like very little. You only like one-liners pretty much being given by him for the most part.
What about you? Is it worth watching for you?
I'll put it this way: of the DCEU movies, it's gonna be in my top 10.
I think there's only 7 movies of the DCEU.
Top 5. So, top 5. Top 5.
I was going to say, wait a minute. There's not that many of the DCEU.
Well, no, wait. Suicide Squad is technically DCEU.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. Yeah, it is. I don't think there's 10 DCEU movies.
You're probably right. I like it better than a lot of other ones. I think it's better than Wonder Woman 84.
Oh, a lot of things. Almost every other DC film besides Birds of Prey, Suicide Squad, some other ones, definitely better than 84. Nothing can beat Wonder Woman, the first one. No, I'm sorry. That stays on top. I do like Man of Steel. I do like,
I like that too.
The extended version of BVS. I do like the first Shazam film.
I like that one too.
So I would say this is the top 5. This is number 5 of the top 5.
It's fair. That's fair. For me, it's like number 4.
What about you for scoring on the Rotten Tomatoes? I gave it more like a 70.
I'm right around there. I'm like 72, 73.
Are you going to watch it with me when you come down for the holidays, or are you going to watch it there?
You talking about the first one again?
No, I'm sorry. Aquaman, the Lost Kingdom.
Oh, I was about to say
you're coming down. You're coming down right around Christmas time.
No, I was about to say. You just said you want to watch it again, and you're like, you're gonna watch it with me. I'm like, oh wow.
No, I didn't say I want to watch this again.
I'm down to watch it.
I know. My girlfriend Kimberly wants to watch The Lost Kingdom because of Jason Momoa, and that's the only reason why it's going to make money. It's because of him. This guy has it.
Patrick Wilson.
He was Owlman.
Yeah.
In The Watchmen.
I don't like how they resolved. Now I'm back on it. I don't like how they resolved the ending of Aquaman. That's why I don't like. The mother shows up. How do you do the costume change too? She comes out in a dress. But anyways, and she's like, "Mom, you're alive."
Maybe Volko had it like when she comes back. This is her like, returning dress.
Always be ready. Yeah. Everybody ignores the fact that Mira basically was betrothed and just betrayed everything to go with a wannabe. And I mean, I'm just saying, I had problems with it. There was a lot of loopholes in that.
No, yes, you're right. It was just more like, let's rush it to get over with.
Yeah, it was supremely resolved fast. I get the logic of it's like King Arthur and the sword. He has a trident. He is our king. We serve our king. Great. I like that. Orm just giving up, I don't like.
I want to go back to the reference of the Ant-Man and the Wasp where they rescue the mother and he rescues the mother here. They both came out in 2018.
Okay.
I'm remembering that Ant-Man and the Wasp came out right before Aquaman because Aquaman came out in December. So it has to be Ant-Man came out first and the Wasp.
Aquaman came out around December of 2018.
And I think the Ant-Man came out in May.
Yeah. It's like a summer movie. Ant-Man's always usually around a summertime film or like early February.
I mean, if you saw it, if you're of DC and you saw the scene on Ant-Man and the Wasp, I mean, there's plenty of time for reshoots. Hello, let's fix this real quick. All right, guys, that is our DC-ness review of 2018's Aquaman. Have you seen it? What is your favorite moment? As always, if you have a movie or show you'd like us to review, let us know in the comments below. Until next time, we'll be the next time. I'm Angel.
I'm Adon.
Love you, bro.
Love you too.